Chalam.
Ah, okay. All right, so we are live on YouTube. Thank you, Salika Prabhu. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, Grace Sri Radha Govinda Devi. And all glories to some of the Vaishnava devotees. We thank you all for being here as always. Today is the 29th day of July. It's unbelievable. The year is almost, the year is almost 3/4.
Months to go for 2026.
Yeah, 2025 is almost over. Mother, thank you so much for honoring this invitation, of course, as always. And we are grateful to have your association. Somehow, Krishna arranges that certain devotees get certain verses that are kind of reflection to their mood and likeness in the Vishnu service. And looking at the text for today, I think it's very suitable that you are speaking this verse.
I thought you chose it purposefulully, but was
No,
Oh,
not especially. No, it just happened. It's amazing.
amazing.
Krishna
Okay.
is so kind. So thank you so much. So without further ado, we may put the verse on the screen and then you take it over. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much. Thank
Hare.
you. Thank you,
Oh,
Sadhu.
let me say, because you may want to share some slide or
Oh,
whatever.
yes.
So
I'm not able
let's see.
to.
All right, let me do this. 1, 2 here, and then Shri Radha, co-host. Yes. All right. So now.
Yes, thank you. And
Sure.
also, I would like a volunteer later to read the purport. It would be nice to have participation of the devotees to have the energy.
All right.
All right.
So.
ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्नस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मुखाकरोति वाचालं पङ्गोरं गायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताकस्वामीनिति नाम्ने नम आचार्यपादाय निताय कृपप्रदायिने गौरकथा दामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीनिति नाम्ने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय Hare Krishna, my dear African family. Thank you so much for joining in this interesting section of Srimad Bhagavatam. We're reading from 3rd canto, 11th chapter, text 14. संवत्सरः परिवत्सरा इदावत्सर एव च अनुवत्सरो वत्सरश्च विदुरैवं प्रभाष्यते संवत्सरः परिवत्सरा इदावत्सर एव च अनुवत्सरो वत्सरश्च विदुरैवं प्रभाष्यते संवत्सरः परिवत्सरा इधावत्सर एव च अनुवत्सरो वत्सरश्च viduraivam prabhasyate. Translation: there are 5 different names for the orbits of the sun, moon, stars, and luminaries in the firmament, and they each have their own samvatsara. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The subject matter of physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, time, and space dealt with in the above verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are certainly very interesting to students of the particular subject. Can we have a volunteer to continue reading the rest of the purport, please?
But as far as we are concerned, we cannot explain them very thoroughly in terms of technical knowledge. The subject is summarized by the statement that above all the different branches of knowledge, branches of knowledge
Is the supreme control.
Is the supreme control of color, the plenary representation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nothing exists without him, and therefore everything, however wonderful it may appear to our meager knowledge, is but the work of the magical wand of the Supreme Lord. As far as time is concerned, we beg to subjoin here with a table of timings in terms of the modern clock. Should I continue?
Yeah.
Someone else?
Some mathematician.
Would someone else try to read? Well, I'll continue. 1 Shruti is 13,500 second. 1 Veda, 135 second. 1 Lava, 45 second. 1 Nimesha, 15 second. 1 Kshana, 5 second.
Divide by
1 Kashta, 8 seconds. 1 Lagu, 2 minutes. 1 Danda, 30 minutes. 1 Danda, 30 minutes. 1 Prahara, 3 hours. 1 day, 12 hours. 1 night, 12 hours. 1 Paksha, 15 days. 2 Pakshas comprise 1 month, and 12 months comprise 1 calendar year, or 1 full orbit of the sun. A human being is expected to live up to 100 years. That is the way of the controlling measure of eternal time. The Brahma Samhita 552 affirms this control in this way.
यच्चक्षुरेश सवितः सकलग्रहाणां राजा समस्तसुरमूर्तिरशेषतेजाः यस्य ज्ञया भ्रमति संवृतकालचक्रो गोविन्दमादिपुरुषां तमहं भजामि.
I worship Govinda, the Primeval Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under whose control even the sun, which is considered to be the eye of the Lord, rotates within the fixed orbit of eternal time. The sun is the king of all planetary systems and has unlimited potency in heat and light. Hare Krishna.
Right. Okay. So what do you think? You understood everything about time? Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara. Very easy, right? The 5 distinct expressions of how the year is divided, how we live our life. Everything seems very clear. Any questions? If anybody didn't understand any aspect, you can ask a question.
Well, lots of the divisions Srila Prabhupada gave us, I don't think they exist in our modern time calculation. Because I don't know, there may be other timings that I'm not aware of, but I know of seconds and milliseconds. And the other previous measurements, I don't know, maybe in physics and astronomy, they may be there, but to the ordinary people on the street, I don't think most people, of course, including myself, I'm an ordinary person. I don't know if these timings actually exist, but Srila Prabhupada is giving us the like 8/135 of a second. I don't know. I don't know when somebody is actually calculating using this type of time.
Okay. Yeah, we'll start with the broader concept. See, time is not just linear in Vedic calculation. It's cyclical, just like in a clock, right? It goes, 12 o'clock was at night, but then 12 o'clock in the afternoon comes again. So it's actually like celestial moments. And because it's controlled by the Lord, it's very precise. So this 5 distinct expressions, Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara. So each of these 5 divisions, they are loosely, like Prabhu said, a guy on the street, what does it mean to him? Is loosely to say 1 year in English. So it's like unique, like it's like unique way of explaining the cycle, Vedic cycle. So let's take Samvatsara. So Samvatsara is the solar year. We all celebrate our birthdays, like July 29th. So next July 29th is the solar year. That's the Samvatsara, right? So Surya Siddhanta, which Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur also commented, this speaks, right? It's basically 300 and more or less 365 plus something days. That's one orbit of sun. When sun moves through all the zodiac symbols, all the 12 signs in the zodiac, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio. I'll complete the cycle. Scorpio, and then Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. So this is all the 12 signs through which the sun passes. That's one Samvatsara in that 5-year thing. So that's also what in Africa or any traditional cultures, it marks those seasons of major festivals, right? You must have your own agricultural seasons when it's the time to sow the seeds, when it's time to reap cultivate the crops. So we call it in India Makara Sankranti. That's like the completion of one cycle of sun god moves in his chariot around the 12 signs, and when he approaches one sign, then that's the Makara Sankranti day. Then there is the Parivatsara, right? The Parivatsara, what Prabhupada says here in the translation. So Samvatsara is clear, right? It's very important to understand Samvatsara. That Samvatsara is not something extraordinary we cannot understand. It's basically your solar birthday year or solar years that we celebrate of Independence Day and Agriculture Day, whatever. Next is Parivatsara. Parivatsara is very important for human beings, especially in Vedic astrology. It's all the marriage ceremonies, when a person is going to get a job, all these things basically calculated with this transit. So what is Parivatsara? Parivatsara is basically Jupiter's year. So circumambulation of Brihaspati. Brihaspati is the lord of planet Jupiter. Brihaspati is the deity we study in Srimad Bhagavatam, that Brihaspati and Tara, they are the husband and wife, and then Tara is kidnapped by moon god, and then the child is begotten, which is Buddha, Mercury. See, every psychological drama, love triangle, psychological connection is in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the same Brihaspati, his circumambulation happens every 12 years. Okay, this is Parivatsara. In our own lives, it takes basically 12 years for Earth, the planet Earth, to complete that one revolution of the Jupiter's circumambulation. And in that 12 years cycle, it takes Jupiter 12 years to complete the 12 signs. In Vedic astrology, we call it Guru Bala, Guru's transits. So whenever Guru is placed in certain positions, we get that energy. Some years go well for us, right? Some other year it's a downtime. Things don't happen according to our plan. That's because Brihaspati, Brihaspati is the lord of the teacher of the devas, the demigods, whereas the teacher of the daityas, the demons, is Shukracharya. So Shukracharya and Brihaspati, they are always in conflict. And a little bit more psychology, Brihaspati, who is the lord of Jupiter, and the lord of Brihaspati is Vamanadev. And there is always, remember the story, Vamanadev and Shukracharya? And Bali Maharaj came as a little boy. Vamanadev came to ask land from Bali Maharaj. Shukracharya told him not to give the land. So there is also Venus ruled by Shukracharya. Shukra is Venus planet. Shukracharya he's the Acharya of the Venus planet. And above Venus planet is also Vishnu avatar. But because of that relational dynamics between Brihaspati's planet, which is Vamanadev, and Shukracharya, Jupiter and Venus are always in conflict. So whenever you have luxuries in life, your spiritual life may not be so good. And whenever there is spiritual celebrations, materially maybe there is not so much shiny situation. So this 12 years in Vedic astrology is the forms the basis for many Vedic astrological charts and good things that happen, especially when you took initiation and when you joined the Hare Krishna movement. All these things will be, you can look at it and see, oh, that was the period of Jupiter. So that's Parivatsara. So you can remember, Samvatsara is the sun, Parivatsara is about the Jupiter. Then we see the next word is Idavatsara. So Idavatsara is the orbit of the stars. It's basically the time that is taken for sun to return to the same. It's a sidereal calculation in relative to the nakshatras, the stars. So let me just okay. So basically, there is tropical calculation. Tropical means the 12 signs you see in all these astrology magazines. They will say, no, that astrology. Oh, if you're Aries this week, you'll find the love of your life. If you're Taurus, you will win the election. All those things. That's the tropical. And then there is Vedic calculation. There's also sidereal, and sidereal is connected to the 27 constellations, which is a moon god's wives. The 27 nakshatras are the moon god's wives. So it's slightly longer than the 12 signs. 1 year according to our calculation system. The nakshatra based astrology is similar, like a year, but it's a little bit longer. So that is Idavatsara. Samvatsara is 1 year and Idavatsara is a little bit longer because it takes sun to go a little bit longer than 1 year come back to the same position of the star. Like that. And then there is next word is Anuvatsara. Anuvatsara is the lunar year. That's basically happens every 28 days. See, everything is interconnected here. Sun god, moon god and his family, the child of moon god's relation with Jupiter. Jupiter is Brihaspati, Everything is personal. And when we're talking about time in the Vedic concept, everything is relational and everything is interconnected. So this 12 months is each day is 28 cycle, which is very easy to remember. Lunar is every Amavasya, every Purnima, like in every 15 days is a full moon day, and every 15 days is a new moon day. Every month is a full moon day, and every month is a new moon day. So this 28 days it takes. We say month, but it's actually a little less than a month. So it's about 28.5 days, less than 30 days. So this it requires a little bit adjustment. If you remember, there is an extra month in our Vedic calendar, and we do Kartik month and everything. There is one month called Adhika Mas. That's the Purushottam Mas. That's like a extra month. Whatever you do in that month, you get extra benefits. So that gets connected with the solar calendar. So like many festivals we celebrate in India, especially Deepavali, Navaratri, all these things we celebrate, that is according to the Anuvatsara. So Anuvatsara calculation is that calculating the extra month that also comes together. And then we have, what's the other word here? Vatsaraha. The general term, that's a general term to put all of them in a category, that it's a calendar year, Vedic calendar year. So it's like a unified system, takes into consideration the extra month, it takes into consideration lunar month, it takes into consideration solar month, it takes into consideration the Jupiter's moment, all these things come together. So what is all this deeply mathematical, accurate system? Even what is interesting is before modern clocks were invented, our sages were following these systems. They would just look at the sky and they would understand, oh, today is Tritiya, oh, today is Ekadashi, today is Dvadashi. Just by looking at moon, they will understand. And how would they understand the cycle of sun? Oh, sunrise is happening exactly in this particular angle, so it must be the Chaitra month. Oh, it is happening exactly in this month, so it must be the Damodar month, the Kartik month. So they would be able to understand just by the movements of sun and moon. In India, there is a temple in Tamil Nadu where just the way the sun rises and sun sets, there are holes in the temple where the sunlight exactly falls, indicating what time of the day it is. At 10 o'clock, it will be exactly at a particular hole, and 11 o'clock, it will be. Let me just actually show you a picture of that. Let me try to find you that picture. Um, I mean, I'm not finding exactly the picture that shows the sunlight, but I did find the picture of the temple. Let me just show you that. It's so fascinating how interconnected all this knowledge and timing and techniques are. So this is the temple here, Sundara Varadaraja Perumal temple. And these are the temple halls in the temple architecture. So the sun exactly passes through these every hour like that. I can't find the image of that. Maybe there must be some video. You can Google it later. Okay, Varadaraj temple, sunrise, sunset. How amazing it is. Through that, oh, you see here, something is here. Okay, let's open this one. You can see inside these holes. So exactly at the right time, the sunlight goes through that. It's also known, this temple is also known as Vishnu Kanchi. Okay. Yeah, so it's a very beautiful temple. I went there. My grandfather took me when I was very young. So it's a very special calculation system done by our Did I stop it? Did I share it? Did you see it? Yes, no?
Yeah, we saw a little bit, but we saw like flashes of light
Yeah.
coming through the
I mean, I
temple.
couldn't find exactly the picture or the thing. It will take me some time to search it. But
Right.
if you look at Varadaraja temple and sun, you'll see the videos where they even make those videos very, very accurate. Okay, so the point is this: time is not inert or mechanical. That's what we're reading from this verse. That Kala Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam. So sun is the king of all the planets. And Krishna is the lord of all the planets. Yasyagya Brahmati Sambrita Kala Chakro. So the planets move according to the Agya or the instruction or the direction of Krishna. And only the Kala Chakra, the time, the cycle of cosmic, how the time rotates, whether it is sun's movements, moon's movements, sun's movements, every month sun moves to different house, moon moves every day to a different house. And stars, every 2.5 to 3 days, the stars move, the nakshatras change. And then the planets, every planet moves, it has its own timings. Mercury moves slower, and Jupiter moves even slower. Saturn moves every 2.5 years. This is the slowest planet of all, Saturn. In comparison with Moon and Sun, Mercury is more slower. But in terms of, if you compare Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn is slower than them. So every planet moves according to the Agya, means instruction of the Lord. Why? Because it's relevant for us. We're supposed to live 100 years. So exactly in that 100 years in Vedic astrology, every planet, if you calculate 9 years of Mars, 18 years of Mercury, 20 years of Venus, 18 years of Jupiter, if you calculate every planet, calculate it, one cycle completes 100 years. I mean, how many people live 100 years? So ideally, if you live 100 years, you've completed the life cycle of all the planetary experiences in life. So what to speak, even sun, who's the Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam, is the known as Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja. He's the most powerful planet. He's a king of all planets. And even that king of all planets revolves by the will of Govinda. And all these knowledge about Jyotish, I personally studied this a lot, the planets, the transits, the cycles, the 12 years, the Kumbh Mela that happens exactly according to the 12-year cycle of Jupiter. By every 12 years, when the Jupiter moves, that's when Kumbh Mela happens. And all the festivals we celebrate, Kartik month, we celebrate, what do you call them? The Chaturmasya. It's all based on these lunar phases, nakshatras, the tithis, Janmashtami, Radhashtami. It's all calculated through the stars and the tithis. When Ashtami comes, when Navami comes, Rama Navami, and we celebrate Gaura Purnima. So that's the Purnima, that's the moon cycle and the months. So see, everything, we are living it. But those we understand the binding force of time and understand how the spiritual understanding gives us Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, when he says, Kalosmi, time I am, the destroyer of the worlds. So everything has an end. And that's by Krishna's grace. And also by surrendering to Krishna, we can go beyond time. Because that's how the sages, they used to live longer than 100 years. Because they use the same time management, the best sages knew how to do right time management, to transcend it, not to be enslaved by it. But in modern day situation, it's the opposite case. We are enslaved by time. If you've seen these cartoons, let me see if I can find that cartoon. Okay. There's a cartoon. I found it. Here it is. Coming. So this is a famous cartoon. Young guy, right? Young fellow going to college. He has no money, running out of money. He has a lot of time. He has a lot of energy. And then the adult, he has money, but he has no time. You know, people like that. Then he has a lot of energy, but he's struggling for time. And then when the guy becomes old, he spent all the time to make money, right? And he also uses energy. Now he has money, he has time, but he has no energy. So this is the modern day dilemma for those of us who are not really on the path of full, complete yoga, yogic practice. We use our time and energy to make money. And once we have money, we have no energy and we die. So this is the modern day situation that we do not know how to actually align, I would say, because as an astrologer, if we can align with this cosmic flow, if we do Ekadashi, on Ekadashi, we fast and we keep our bodies clean, the mind becomes very sharp. We won't get diseases because scientifically the lunar cycles and the Tithi, especially on Ekadashi day, it is very, very, how do you call it? Scientifically, it is proven that those days exactly of the lunar cycle, when the person fasts and doesn't eat nonsense or doesn't eat at all, especially best, that person develops a kind of immunity and strength that they will not get diseases. And that's what our ancient time people were saying. I'm sorry, I need to just close the window because it's raining here and the water is coming inside.
All right. Hare Krishna.
Talk about time and seasons and rains. It's raining. Okay. Okay, I think I need to do that. All right. So time management is not just about productivity. It's actually about spiritual alignment. For example, like I was saying, each of us, we are born in a specific planetary period. Maybe some of us were born in Jupiter period. So when you were born, your parents had maybe wealth suddenly. For instance, when I was born, my father had a promotion. My mother got some gold jewelry in gift. So some astrologist said, oh, the birth of this child will bring you prosperity, because the time period that this baby is born will bring opportunities. And in fact, many things changed. And then as the time passes, then next period, Venus period comes after Ketu period. And after Venus period comes Sun period. And after Sun period comes Moon period. Every time cycle, we are exactly born what we need to experience, what the parents need to experience. Then right after that cycle, the next cycle begins. So everything is already ordained in a certain way. But we, as human beings in modern day, we think everybody has to go through the education system in the same way. Everybody has to study the same subject. Okay, I have to show you another picture. There's a very nice picture about education. How many of you have seen it? So they say this is the way that we are going to determine who is intelligent. And everybody is asked to do what? Anybody guess? I'm going to show you the image. Anybody guess what I'm talking about? Okay, here's the image. This is our way of time and training. This is important for all of you, especially if you have children. This will be a very important lesson here. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree, the professor is saying. And he's telling a dog, a dolphin, fish, elephant. This is a dolphin, actually. This one is a whale or something. A monkey and a crow. So basically, he's determining who is the fair selection, who's going to be selected by who will climb the tree. So can the elephant climb the tree? Can the fish climb the tree? Can the poor whale climb the tree? So the point is, our system of timing is every kid has to go through primary education for so many years. Every kid has to go through middle school and learn exact the same mathematics for this much years. But actually in Vedic system, it didn't work like that. Even in the Gurukul system, the kids were not categorized by age. They were categorized by their capacity. So some kids, I know, like one kid I was just seeing here, so smart, 3-year-old, already, understands difference between languages, can talk with different people in different languages. You clearly see that the soul was already educated in previous life. Doesn't need to go through the same things anymore. But we sometimes put them through this torture. And then we make them even more dull than what they were. So instead of actually pushing them ahead, we pull them back. We tell them too many things. Don't do this, don't do that. So in the talking about samvatsara and the cycle, when the kid is between almost like 1 year, between 1 and 2 years, is when they develop a sense of security. We all, by the way, all of us developed it. A sense of security. Oh, when I'm hungry, my mother's milk is available. When I feel to sleep, I can go to sleep. So there's a sense of security that's created. And when kids go through abandonment in that stage, they will always develop a sense of insecurity. So we always look for that motherly affection. We always look for that warmth. If we don't get it between those years, very important, those years until 1 and almost till 2. Then at age 3, we develop the courage to walk, to go climb something, to trip and fall and break your hand or something. So that's the stage where we learn what to do and what not to do. And if our parents were too strict and told us, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't do that, then the child develops extreme fear of trying anything new. And if the parents allow the kid to do whatever the heck they want, then that kid becomes wild and nobody can stop that kid. It keeps doing whatever he wants, even when he's older, he or she is older. So all these like I said, alignment, if we can understand, oh, the children go through these periods in life. Oh, my child is going through Rahu period. So Rahu period is like 18 years of excruciating confusion and chaos for the parents and for the person. And sometimes we go through Rahu period when we are older. So that's the period when we need to go through uncertainty. We need to make certain mistakes. We are clouded. We are in illusion. But all these things are deep connection to the soul reviving its sense of identity with the Lord. And it's all interconnected with the rhythm of creation, of how Krishna allows our growth to happen. It's tailor-made. It's not textbook. It's not copy-paste for everybody. And I was thinking of talking about Kala. Just give me 1 second. Let's go back to the purport here. Okay, so there's okay, get that. Any questions so far before we jump into our Kala, the concept of time in a more deeper way? Any comments, any questions? It's interesting, no?
Well, I have one question.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can put this on the screen. This is one book from, okay, oh, man, we talk with here, the diameters of the planets according to the Surya Siddhanta. Now, my question is, of course, Moon, Sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. These planets, as we see here, we understand that in this universe, there are too many planets to be counted. why do we always go by these planets? Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, sometimes they say Pluto. But why do we always go by? And it's very interesting that the Vedic description of the positions of the planets and even the names. Of course, I think the names is meant to be this particular planet in the English language. But why these specific planets and not other planets? Does that mean that the other planets do not have much relationship with our Earth planet? That is why they are kind of silenced, or what?
Yeah, very good question. I would have to kind of simplify this by summarizing you like a story. Remember the time when Mohini Murthy appeared and there was sun and moon?
Yeah.
Who watched that there was this demon, Rahu, dressed like a demigod and came amongst them, sat there. So the one who caught this devious act of Rahu and got his head cut off was sun and moon. So actually, I must show you a little chart just to give you... this will be very useful for anybody who's ever interested in any astrology, and I will explain this to you. Here they go. Perfect. I found a good one. Let me share the screen. Okay, this is going to be fun. So here is your story beginning. The story began when sun and moon, there's a sun and moon, okay? They owned all the planetary houses that you're seeing. All the signs were owned by sun and moon. Because Surya and Chandra, Surya Vamsha, Chandra Vamsha, remember? Ramachandra appeared in Surya Vamsha and Krishna appeared in Chandra Vamsha. If you study the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the whole dynasty is opening up. But what we'll see is they were, like, go back to a little bit the story here. They were owning everything, all the signs. So when this story happened between Rahu and Ketu, etc., sun and moon decided, hey, now we got to do something. Let's discuss, call the other planets, and let's give away some of this. Like, in the political parliament, when the parliament is formed, the ministers will decide, let's give this cabinet of education ministry to this particular member or minister. Oh, let's give the finance ministry to this member. So like that, the cabinets were formed. So among the sun and moon, moon kept one house for himself, which is Cancer. So moon rules Cancer, and Leo is ruled by sun. So sun said, I'll keep Leo, you keep Cancer. Then let's see who other planets we can give out to. And guess who came first in the queue? Mercury came first. Mercury is a very fast planet, right? He's a very quick planet, communicative planet. He rushed and he said, I want a cabinet. So when Mercury came to Moon, Moon said, fine, you can have Gemini, my side of the thing, I'll give you Gemini. And Sun said, fine, Mercury, you can have Virgo, which is my side, I'll give you Mercury. So basically in Vedic astrology, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Gemini and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, which was given to Sun and Moon. And then Venus came. Hey, what about me, guys? Don't forget me. Give me also something. So when Venus came, Venus, you remember who is Venus? Venus is Shukracharya. So Shukracharya came. Hey, what about me? Give me a position. Because first Buddha came. Buddha is the son of Moon, remember? If you studied Bhagavatam, you will remember. Moon god gave birth to Mercury, but with the wife of Jupiter. That's like a scandal story. But Mercury is Buddha, the son of Moon. So there is some relational connection there. And Mercury doesn't really like Moon so much, by the way. Jupiter raised Mercury. Brihaspati, which we read today, the Samvatsara, He raised Mercury. So then after this happens, Shukracharya says, hey, what is this? All these demigods, all they are only occupying things. Let me also go and take a space. So then Shukracharya comes and asks Moon, hey, give me a space. So Moon gives Taurus to Shukra and Sun gives Libra to Shukra. So Venus rules Taurus and Libra in a Vedic zodiac sign chart. And then comes Mars. Mars is the commander-in-chief. He's like Kuja. He's the commander. He's like, hey, what is this? Demons, demigods, everybody is getting their share. I'm also going. So then finally comes Mars. Hey, give me my share. So then Mars gets Aries and Scorpio. So Mars is ruling Aries and Scorpio. And then peacefully Jupiter, who's a slow planet, he comes later. He comes and says, hello guys, I heard that something is happening here. What about me? So then Jupiter, Brihaspati, finally comes, the one who travels, 12 years, every 12 years he moves the whole zodiac. He comes and he gets Pisces and Sagittarius. Moon gives him Pisces and Sun gives him Sagittarius. So these two are ruled. Then what happens? Venus is Shukra, right? Remember Shukra? Shukra says, hey, this is a lot of injustice going on here. Everybody, demigod is getting, I got the thing. What about poor Saturn? Saturn is the son of Sun. If you remember, again, Bhagavatam, Sun god, Surya, had a child with Chaya. Chaya is the clone version of Sanghya. Sanghya is the wife of Sun god. So she was very much disturbed by Sun's intensity. So she left for a while and she left her clone. So with that clone, Sun god, Surya, had a child, which you can say it's kind of an illegitimate child. And Sun was not very happy because the Saturn was born from shadow. Shadow is Chaya. Chaya is the shadow. So born from shadow, Saturn was lame. He was not able to he wasn't like cute. He was not a cute baby. Let me put it that way. He wasn't like doing justice to being sun god's son. But Venus, Shukracharya, always loved Saturn, always supported Saturn, because Saturn was always just. He never took sides with demigods or demons. He will never do partiality because Saturn is a very just planet. He's a very balanced planet. He's like a teacher. Death for everyone. Everybody has to die. He doesn't make partiality. So Venus came to Sun and Moon and said, hey, you guys also you guys need to give something to Saturn. So then Moon gave Aquarius to Saturn and Sun gave Capricorn to Saturn. So because of Venus, who happens to be Saturn's best friend in astrology, Saturn got these two grahas. So naturally, as you can imagine, between all these planets, there is psychology, there is relational dynamics. Like I said, Mercury gets exalted in his own house. He doesn't trust anybody. Buddha, he doesn't trust anybody. He only trusts himself. And Moon is like, oh, I'll get exalted in Jupiter's house because Jupiter is so amazing. I had a child with his wife and he raised the child. So he becomes exalted there. And so Moon becomes exalted in Taurus, in Venus, and Jupiter becomes exalted in Cancer. Sorry for the confusion. And then Leo. Leo is, of course, Sun. And then Mercury is son of, like I said, he only gets exalted in his own. What else I have to say? Who else? Oh yeah, I was talking about Saturn. Saturn, he becomes exalted only in Venus's house. So when he comes to Libra, he becomes exalted. Why? Because Venus is his best friend's house. So like that, every planet has his own exaltation house and debilitation house. Like that. Like when, yeah, like Mars and Moon, they're not exactly go well planets together. So when Mars comes to Cancer, he becomes debilitated. So when we are born under those influences, it reflects our patterns, psychological patterns. So to answer your question very shortly, it's not just about the mass of the planets length and the breadth, which is the yojanas, how many yojanas the planets are. Like, for example, Saturn is huge. It's a very heavy planet. Jupiter also is a very huge, heavy planet. You can see the calculations, what you were just showing. So every planet has its mass. But that is not dependent on the zodiac signs. The zodiac signs are equally distributed among the 12 signs. Each of them rule a specific sign. So, Prabhuji, the picture you showed is astronomy. What I am showing you is the story of astrology. How the astronomy's background has psychology in it. And because of that psychology, the astrological energies start flowing. And then the macrocosm, which is their relationships in the heavenly planets realm, it affects us in the microcosm, which means what day we are born, how lucky we are, how unlucky we are, what planets are favorable, what planets are not favorable, all these things. So why these particular planets? In astronomy, we study all the planets. But in astrology, we only study these navagrahas, 9 grahas. These are the 7 that I just mentioned. And Rahu and Ketu are the cause between the transformation, the shift that happens from Mercury, from Gemini to Cancer to Leo to Virgo. You know, that between is Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu don't own any house in the sign, in the zodiac signs, but they are the transformation and the shift between the signs. So they are invisible, what we call as lunar nodes, north node and south node. North node is Rahu and south node is Ketu. So that's why these 9 planets became the Navagrahas. They are personification of these specific planets. And they have a divine position in the cabinet ministry of cosmology in the upper planetary system. Does it help the rulership of the zodiac?
Yes, it helps very much. But I have had this question for a very long time, and I don't recall if I have had someone to give me an answer to that. I mean, just like you were saying, how Rahu disguised himself as a demigod and went in between the sun and the moon god to partake of the nectar that Mother Mohini was distributing. Then the sun god noticed him and then chopped off his head. And that is the description that how solar lunar eclipse comes about. But
Correct.
I am wondering if that is the case. Of course, that is what happened. But if that is the case, how are these mundane scientists able to predict exactly when we're going to have solar eclipse? Nobody can tell me that in 2 hours time from now, Sahadev is going to go to this store or this shop or this place. I decide when to go, when not to go. So I do not think Surya is just like a robot. Oh, sorry, Rahu is just like a robot that is programmed when to move to which direction or that direction. So how does the Vedic description of eclipses conform with modern day science?
Mm-hmm.
How scientists have been able to accurately predict eclipses that are like 10, 15, 20 years ahead of time.
Yeah. So before that, I want to say about this Kala, the time, how that works and why even scientists can connect. First of all, in Vishnu Purana, there is a description that Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna, which is a powerful weapon of Krishna, that he is the cause of all the movements between the planets and all the order of the seasons, all the time progressions. So he's the very wheel of times, literally the Kala Chakra. And he keeps all the orbits in place. So everything is calculated from, I'm speaking from the celestial perspective, that the 5 samvatsaras that we discussed, the moon and the Jupiter and the stars and the calendar, all this rotates like in a spoke of a wheel. And Sudarshana is that spinning, the spinning is maintained by Sudarshana. Okay, now let me show you an image to answer Sahadev Prabhu's question about that movement. Is it little technical, but it's very interesting. If you understand this, it will be very useful in general for understanding eclipse, etc. This is one image that I found for immediate explanation purpose. So this shows the movement, the cycle, how the sun rotates around the earth, this sun. Okay, this is sun's path. And this one is the lunar path. Lunar rotates like, you remember, sun rotates in 1 year, he covers all the 12 signs. Whereas the moon rotates, the moon rotation is every month he covers all the 12 signs. Okay, so moon is obviously faster. So when they both come in a certain position, then the earth's shadow happens. No, there is a shadow that comes in between. And then you see this is, they represent this by Rahu and Ketu is like put like a snake, as you can see here. So that Rahu and Ketu is north node, they call it here, you can read it here, north lunar node and south lunar node, which is the Ketu. So this axis, this point here, when they meet and then the shadow is caused, then they are blocking even the sun. I mean, apparently blocking. So that's why Vaishnavas, we don't usually watch solar eclipse, because for us, they're Chakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam, Raja Samasta Suramurti. We worship sun god. So we don't like to see sun god being eaten by Ketu. We don't like to see that. So it's like he's being shamed. So we don't look at it. Some people look at it and say, oh, cool, look at that, it's becoming dark. We don't, because that's when the demons are eating the planets momentarily. Even Prabhupada says that in Bhagavatam, that momentarily, because of the eclipse, even sun can be overpowered by Rahu and Ketu. What to speak of human beings? We can also be overpowered by Rahu and Ketu. So this path that we are looking at, it's all very clear in the description, like we said about the months. The scientists have their own calculation because they watch this path of the sun. They watch the path of the moon. It's a pattern. It doesn't change. It's very fixed. So sun is especially very, very predictable. He exactly goes in that cycle, that path, which can be easily seen. If you look at your phones, all of you have phones, just open your phone right in the beginning, in the front there. It will give you weather report. Like this morning, I knew that it's going to rain at this time because the app here shows it's going to rain. This is going to be the temperature. At this time, it's going to rain. And when we had Rath Yatra here, we had Rath Yatra in Munich, we had Rath Yatra in Nuremberg. So we had the weather report. We knew what time it's going to rain. So we were planning in such a way to avoid it. So these are all meteorological calculation systems. This is very much followed with the pattern of the planets, how the planets are moving, where the planet is going to be, how many clouds are in the way, what kind of temperature. And usually I think it's about 60 to 70% accurate. Not 100%, because you can never be 100% predictive about these. Like you said, Sahadev Prabhu, there's always free will. Sahadev Prabhu, you may be told by a friend, hey, come, let's go to the temple and have prasadam there. And you could make up your mind to go and have prasadam there, or you could go to the Govinda's restaurant next door and have prasadam there. So there's always like a possibility. But there is a book, I think, what's his name? Sadaputta Prabhu?
Yeah.
About, yeah. So there is, you know the name, the title of that book?
Yeah, I think you wrote a couple books, Vedic Cosmology.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have that book actually.
Yeah. Mysteries of Sacred Universe. If you look at it, it will be very interesting.
Yeah.
Vedic Cosmology. his name is Dr. Richard, and
Yeah.
he is
Sa-
initiating
Sataputta.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there he explains the connection scientifically, how they relate, how it's actually all mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. Here, the vertical dimension, this is also image. Let's open this and see. So this shows again the movements. See the movements of the sun and the planets. Here, like you were mentioning all the yojanas, what is the distance between the planets and Earth? Where are the lokas situated? Swargaloka, Bhuvarloka, Bhuloka, all these nice, interesting things. Yeah, I mean, these calculations are quite, how do you say, it's hard to apply it and understand. But for me, my level of understanding is within the astrological sphere to understand how these planets work and why they affect us, well, because they are all teachers in the cosmic structure. So they want to teach us certain lessons so we can bypass the levels of material world. So to go into Swargaloka, we need to master certain lessons of planetary energies. And then what to speak of spiritual world. So even on the heavenly planets, there is competition, there is enmity, there is friendship. All these planets we are talking about, they are in that realm, no? Swargaloka, Sun and Moon and Jupiter and Mercury and Venus. They all have their own assemblies in Swargaloka. But they also have enmity and friendship, and somebody steals somebody's wife, and all the story happens there also. So to me, it always gives a dramatic feel to it when you understand the psychology and the stories. I'm not so much of a mathematician. I'm more of a psychologist, so I always look at the psychology between the planets. Yeah. Okay. Any other?
I was a bit shocked to learn that Venus is controlled by Shukracharya. When
Yes.
Venus is like very much responsible for beauty and attraction. And how does Shukracharya, master of the demons, become, well, demons like beautiful things. I don't know, but I was thinking, how is that relationship actually working? Shukracharya, father of the demons or the spiritual master of the demons, and he is in charge of Venus, which is in charge of beauty and attraction.
Very good question. There are 3 levels. First of all, Shukracharya is not a demon. He's Bhrigu Muni's son. His father was Bhrigu Muni. So he's a son of a sage. So he's a very lineage of Vedic rishis. No, he's known for his tapasya, austerities. So just like gurus, the guru of the devas, gods, is Brihaspati. Shukracharya, who's the very Bhrigu Muni's lineage, was chosen by Bali Maharaj, who's Prahlad Maharaj's grandson. He chose Shukracharya as the guru. Why? Because guru means they are neutral. Guru does not say, oh, I will only support devas or I'll only support demigods or devatas or demons. So Bali Maharaj requested that please assist us in our battle against the devas. And so Shukracharya, he had his own, there is a whole story of Sanjeevani Vidya. This also comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So he had learned the art of reviving dead people. Shukracharya knew how to bring back the asuras who they kept dying, right? So he had power to bring them back to life after the battle. So this invaluable lesson that he had, it was very precious. Not every demon knew that. So Bali Maharaj knew that. So he requested, and he had so many disciples, therefore. So the point is, Shukracharya was wise, he was spiritually elevated, he was qualified, and he was not evil. The point of Shukracharya is we should understand he would help the demons to stay on the path of the dharma from a different perspective. Like Narada Muni, when he met Mrigari the hunter, he used to kill, remember, he used to kill animals, half kill them. And then those animals would suffer. So then he was told, like, kill them fully. Kill them fully at least. So similarly, everybody has a level. The demons have a level. So Shukracharya took up a very special case. I don't know why I'm thinking of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. I used to hear, like, I didn't hear many years of his classes, but there were years that I had personal association of Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. And he would say, some devotees, they come from a very simple background. And to give them the path of Dharma, to give them the path of Krishna consciousness, he had to feed them basic knowledge first. He couldn't just immediately jump into Vedanta and Bhagavad Dharma. He had to tell them, don't hurt each other, stay peaceful, devotees don't. He had to teach them the basics. So there was a conversation he was having once in Mayapur about that even after people become devotees, they need to still be taught basics, to not fight amongst each other. So similarly here, Shukracharya's role is to keep the demons on the right path, on the path of Dharma. And we know that Shukracharya also tried to stop Bali Maharaj from giving land to Vamanadev. So we know that story. So yes, like your question about Shukra, Venus, which represents love, beauty, luxury, romance, right? Refinement, relationships, material pleasures, basically. So Shukracharya's qualities is to make sure that the demons, they keep to the path of Dharma so they can keep enjoying. Because he knows that anybody who deviates from philosophical or basic dharmic path, you will lose your opulence. So Shukracharya's job is to keep his disciples materially rich by practicing minimum dharma. Even in our life, we need to make right choices to continue enjoying. If somebody has $1 million, say I win a lottery of $1 million, but in order for me to keep enjoying, I need to know how to invest that properly, where to put it in savings, how to invest it in a way that I can manage that money. If I just go and blow it all out, buying a helicopter or something. Oh, I always wanted a helicopter. That's a stupid decision. So Shukracharya allows these demons who are very fond of enjoyment to enjoy in a disciplined way, to enjoy in a dharmic way, to not hurt others, to teach loyalty and wisdom and value of commitment. Don't jump partners. Some demons are known to be very good, like Ravana. Who else? Ravana and I'm thinking of some demons. They were very good in romance and luxury, and they knew how to charm women, and they had very good Venus qualities. And they were also they would stick to their marriages. And these days in Kali Yuga, people have very bad Venus. Means they leave their partner, they betray, they divorce, and all those things causes them more adharmic problems, and they get left by others. So these are all representatives of bad Venus. Good Venus means good decisions. Yes, Venus is a material planet. It's a demoniac planet. Venus is not a Deva planet. It's a demoniac planet because it helps us to enjoy the senses. Like Brihaspati is a divine planet, whereas Venus is categorized as a demoniac planet in one way. Although, one more secret, one more thing, it will surprise you even more. There is a Lord over every planet. Okay, every astrological planet has a Vishnu avatar as the Lord. And you know who is the Lord of Venus? You won't guess. There are Dashavataras. One particular of the Dashavatara rules planet Venus, means he rules Shukracharya, over Shukracharya. I gave a clue. It's about making right decisions, hard decisions. Okay, it's difficult to guess, but it's Parashuram.
Parashuram. Okay.
Because he didn't hesitate to kill the Kshatriyas again and again and again, because it's a choice to wipe out everything that gets in the way of dharma. So again, you may say, how? Peace, luxury, enjoyment, and Parashuram? How is that? Because Bhagavatam explains the character and nature of Parashuram. Venus is actually an angry planet also. If I don't get my enjoyment, I will not be peaceful. But the highest form of right decisions is to edit your life ruthlessly. We learn that from Parashuram. He didn't hesitate to edit. He edited dynasties of Kshatriyas. So there is a whole, how do you call it, textbook called Shukra Niti. Means it's like a textbook, all the ethics and politics of Shukracharya, all the things that you have to follow in order to enjoy this material world for a long time, long time. Insurance policy for sense gratification.
Well, thank you so much. I don't know if other devotees have questions to ask or something to share, but it's very interesting to know about the activities of these devas also. I'm not sure whether I read it or someone mentioned it to me that when it comes to knowledge-wise, Shukracharya is actually more knowledgeable than Brihaspati, but Brihaspati got the opportunity to become the spiritual master to the demigods, and Shukracharya became a spiritual master to the demons. But knowledge-wise, it's said that Shukra is actually more knowledgeable than Brihaspati. And I find that to be interesting if that actually is the case.
Yeah, okay. There are categories of intelligence and knowledge. The most clever among the planets is Buddha, Mercury. He's the smartest, clever, most clever. But then when it comes to Vedic knowledge, Brihaspati means how to please the Lord, what kind of rituals, what kind of mantras, all those kind of expansion of spiritual consciousness is Jupiter. But material sciences, how to become rich, how to enjoy luxury, material knowledge, material advancement, I will put it that way. Material advancement, definitely the intelligence for is Venus, the Venus planet. But there is also the intelligence that comes from Mars, Kuja, the Kuja Graha, which is ruled by Mars, the commander-in-chief Kuja, but the lord above that is Narshingadev. So Mars is also known as Jnanakaraka, means he gives knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of how to run your life affairs, how to be courageous, when to stand up and fight, how to win battles, to put in short. So that kind of knowledge is given by Mars. So there are variety of intelligence, and I will categorize it as Varnashram system. So if you want Brahminical knowledge is Brihaspati. Brihaspati tells you how to increase your knowledge and faith. Jupiter is all about faith, increasing faith. So that's that category. And then when it comes to Kshatriya faith, how to be courageous, how to go get there and fight the war, then it's the Mars. The Mars intelligence is for Kshatriyas. And then the Vaishyas. Vaishyas is Mercury. Clever, be clever, buy something for cheap, sell for something more. Be very clever in communication and in how do you say? Collaboration, all that. That's Mercury. Vaishyas, they are richest in that sense because they're very clever, right? Then Shudra is the Venus intelligence. How to enjoy material pleasures, how to enjoy sex life, how to enjoy beautiful things, how to smell nice things, all things related to senses, sense pleasures. So for a Shudra, Venus is the intelligent planet because that's what they want to experience. And for a Vaishya, Mercury is the intelligent planet. For a Kshatriya, Mars will be considered the Jnanakaraka who tells you how to fight the war and win the war. And for a Brahmana, Jupiter will be considered the intelligence that they want, how to cultivate faith, how to put your faith in the Lord, like that. Does it make sense?
Oh, I'm happy I asked this question because the response is just so beautiful and it's so easy to relate to. Even Vadashram, wow, it's so beautiful. Yeah, because I have a little idea about astrology, so it makes a lot of sense to me, and I believe to our audience also, and most people, if not everyone, who listens to this katha. Because thank you so much. Well, I think I've engaged you so much. I don't know if devotees, anyone has something to ask. I have one other question, but I'll check to see if somebody has something to ask. Anyone with something to ask or to share? Okay, Shri Govinda Prabhu. Go ahead, Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Pronounce all glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to you. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you very, very much, Mata, for this in-depth knowledge. You are so expert on this field of astrology, astronomy, and all that. Well, it's amazing. It's amazing how to come out with all this wonderful, powerful information. Uh, you are here on the planet Earth, but you know whatever is going on in the heavenly realms and the stars and the moon, and that's amazing. That's amazing. It's amazing. You're actually blessed, and thank you very much for being our good sister, and you're always ready to come out and then share your wisdom with us. Thank you so much. I've been back and forth. I'm not stable listening to the lectures. I'm hearing here and there, but I heard you talking about the fastings on Ekadasi and how it frees us from different diseases and all that. I would like you to throw more light or share more light on this field of fastings. Um, why 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 does the fasting help one spiritually? I know the yogis, the mystics, they acquire all their powers through austerities, and particularly, staying without food or water. So how does that have influence on us on that spiritual platform when one stays without food or water? How does it help one advance spiritually or acquire some mystical cities?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because this fasting pleases the demigods who supplies various items to our body, and if we stay out of those things, how do they become pleased? Because when Dhruva Maharaj was doing his austerities, at a point he was living only on air, and also Hiranyakashipu, we all know, how his fasting was able to blow out the whole entire heavy planet, and the demigods were in trouble. They were running away here and there. Why does the fasting is so powerful, and where do we get these powers? Who offers the powers when we stay out of food and water?
Mm-hmm. ಹರಿದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಂಡ ನರನಿಗೆ ಘೋರ ನರಕ ತಪ್ಪದು ಎಂದು ಶ್ರುತಿ ಸಾರುತ್ತಲಿದೆಯೋ. ಇಂದು ಏಕಾದಶಿ ಉಪವಾಸ ತ್ಯಾಗರ ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ದಿ ಶಯನನ ಸಂತಪ್ತ ಕ್ಷೀರಾಬ್ದಿ ಶಯನನ ಪೂಜೆ ಸಂತುಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ನರನಿಗೆ ಸಂತುಷ್ಟಿಯಿಂದಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ನರನಿಗೆ ಅನಂತ ಫಲವನಿವ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲ. This is one of our Vaishnava acharyas saying the song, how Ekadashi is directly called Hari Dina. It means the day of Lord Hari. So it's dedicated to Lord Vishnu. It's considered highly auspicious to do things like special prayers, discipline, fasting. And from an astrological point of view, it's the 11th day from the waxing moon, Shukla Paksha, or the waning moon, the Krishna Paksha. So these are the lunar cycles in every month. So there's basically, if you calculate, it's like 20, almost 24 to 26 Ekadashis will come in 1 year. So that many days is called a Haridina. So this is in Bhavishya Puran, for example. There are many Puranas that glorify Ekadashi. In Bhavishya Puran, it's very clear. Bhavishya Puran and also Skanda Puran, Padma Puran. I remember these three. There must be many other Puranas. They say that by fasting on that specific day of the 11th fortnight of the waxing moon and the 11th fortnight of the waning moon, Krishna Paksha and Shukla Paksha, there are different benefits for every Ekadashi, and it destroys different types of sins, different types of diseases, and it can elevate the consciousness on that day of Hari. Hari, it's also called as Hari Vasara. I grew up in a Madhva family, Madhva family background, and they are very big on Ekadashis, very big. When I was very, very young, I could hardly speak. One sannyasi came to our home, and then he asked me, "What did you eat?" And then I said, "Rice or something." And he said, "But today's Ekadashi." And from that day in my house, they always did Ekadashi because that sannyasi came and corrected us. And he was, I mean, he's one of the influential sannyasis in our family that helped us a lot to do spiritual practices. So he would explain how on this 11th day, because I'm also an astrologer, I know the movements of the moon. There is more mental toxins on that day, but it's not meant to disturb us. It's actually meant to, it's easy, like, when you stir a pot of dirty water, all the dirt comes up when you stir it. So then sometimes when you want to throw away, you're cooking something, you want to throw away the water, you throw away the top after you stir it, and then you keep the rest. So like that specific day, the 11th day, I have this experience. You can tell me if any of you had this. Ekadashis is the day of fights. I have a fight with my husband. I have a fight with my parents. A fight with somebody. Ekadashi is a day of conflicts. Conflicts will trigger in that day specifically. If you have observed it, it's a done thing astrologically. And therefore, on that day, if we want toxins to be cleared out from our body, it's the greatest day. This is only scientifically I'm speaking, nothing connected to religiosity. Also, the body, scientifically, Ayurveda wise, it needs rest from eating, digestion, so much work for the stomach. So it needs that body's natural intelligence needs space to cleanse this ama. It's called ama in Ayurveda. I actually gave a presentation in South Africa. I combined astrology and Ayurveda, and I gave a presentation. So there is a whole cellular detoxification that happens when we fast. And all the cells in the body, it starts to repair itself. Damage control that's happening.
Oh.
And there is one Nobel Prize winner, I think his name was Oshumi or something like this. He actually said how this periodic fasting, it helps that body to do cellular repair. And on Ekadashi also, when we rest and repair, the Ayurveda wise, we have Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. These are the different three doshas, the different bodily constitutions. Like people who are stout, they have heavy weight, that's because of Kapha. And then there is people who are hyperactive, fire in the body, that's Pitta. And then Vata are the people who are always afraid of what will happen, and they're always like anxious. So these three doshas, it's called in Ayurveda, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. This kind of fasting, it will clear the excess Kapha, the mucus. When you fast, the mucus in the body gets cleared up. Simple, common sense things, And the Pitta is the inflammation that is in the body. So when we don't keep feeding the body and give it a break, the inflammation in the body reduces. And so People can manage diabetes, indigestion, acidity. People who have arthritis, pain, joint pains will not come. You'll see. I've seen in my Madhva Sampradaya sannyasis and certain teachers, they're very strict on Ekadashi. Like Africans, by the way, I love the African, ISKCON African culture. Most African devotees do full fasting. And some devotees I know, they do full nirjal fasting. They don't even drink water. And that kind of fasting is what the Madhva sannyasis do. And they are 80, 90 years old. They don't have any arthritis problem. They don't wear spectacles. They don't get sick. They travel like anything, and psychologically they're very sharp. They remember clarity. Sattva guna increases because that kind of fasting reduces inertia like laziness, tamas guna. Also, it balances out hyperactivity. So please don't give, like, I heard this in my childhood. Don't say, I'm too young to do Ekadashi fasting. I'm too old to do Ekadashi fasting. I'm too sick to do Ekadashi fasting. I'm too pregnant to do Ekadashi fasting. So, one reason or another, right? So, if you actually go to the doctors, people who have diabetes, they will not get diabetes if you do this preventive fasting. And let me think of something about water. Like some of us, depending on our body type, we should just drink water. We shouldn't do full fasting. Some bodies will not, the vata will increase if you do fasting irregularly. See, Ekadashi must be done scientifically, properly, not just I don't eat many days, I don't eat at all. That's not considered healthy fasting. It needs to be a balance. So the point is, the yogis, the sages, they observed Ekadashi in a very meditative state. They wouldn't be driving out in the traffic and doing this and that and fasting. So there would be a balance. So you need to be intelligent. Maybe you need to stay hydrated. If Govinda Prabhu is driving all day, you may not want to stay dehydrated. So you need to know what's happening to the body when you're fasting. One thing I know astrologically that happens, nadis, there are nadis. These are the, how do you call nadis in English? क्या बोलते हैं नित्य किशोरी? Nadis.
Sorry, Mataji, I got disconnected. I've joined again. So,
What is nadis in English? नाड़ी को क्या बोलते हैं English? Anyway, so the nadis are
This is
veins.
Veins, yeah.
So veins are the energy channels. We are more receptive to divine vibrations. So during Ekadashi, the nadis open up. So when nadis open up and then you're reciting Bhagavatam and you're doing Kirtan, the absorption through the nadis are much more powerful, more strong. So let me say the levels of Ekadashi. First type is Nirjal Ekadashi, no food, no water, 24 hours is the most intense one. But another is called Palahara. Palahara is, Prabhupada used to say, even if you take milk, fruits, nuts, it's still considered fasting because you're only having milk and fruits. You're not having many other things. I know one kid, she loves to do Ekadashi fasting because of the benefits. So what she does early in the morning, she'll do a lot of abhishek to the deity with all the panchamrita, and she'll keep like 3 liters of panchamrita and she will drink it during the day and she'll say, I'm doing full fasting. That's allowed for kids. And then you can, of course, do the Sattvic ISKCON style, I will say. Simple Sattvic meal, one meal, no grains, no beans, just some sabudana or what do you call it? Quinoa, something like that. And then some people do the jala sevanam, only water. They sustain themselves only through water. So the conclusion is, yes, it's directly connected with disease-free body fasting, and also it opens the nadi, clears the body, clears the mind, it elevates our consciousness, like that. It's a good habit. Does it help, Govinda Prabhu? Did it give you some ideas?
You are muted, Govinda Prabhu. I think he's saying yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I used to. Yeah, go ahead, Govinda Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you, Mata. Yes, very much. It helps very, very much. I think this knowledge giving will inspire most of us to go back to our old days austerities. You know, we used to fast a lot, but the old age is setting in, and most of us we are stepping back. But this is very, very encouraging, and thank you very much. But the other part of my question, I think that part was not answered. How do we develop the mystical energies through these fastings? And the energies, because the demigods are pleased with we staying away from food and drink, who bestows the benediction? Is it the demigods or the Lord himself?
According to the scriptures, the Lord himself, because Ekadashi is directly connected to Vishnu. And it's also due to, like I mentioned, all the reasons with the body, our mind becomes more receptive to spiritual knowledge, to spiritual activities. So, it's like you go and sing kirtan in front of a donkey, it will never read Prabhupada books. It will never say Hare Krishna. But if you say it in front of a human being who's educated and who can read the Sadaputa Prabhu's cosmology book, it's a different level of intellect. So similarly, doing Ekadashi magnifies the devotion which is already in our heart, and it amplifies the spiritual experience. So what happens is, they say, no, mercy is flowing, but it depends on me how much I can hold it. So doing Ekadashi makes my holding more. I can hold more mercy. I can take more spiritual knowledge. I can digest the spiritual vibrations more. I will make my body and my mind more receptive to spiritual knowledge. So it's two-way street. It's not just one-way street. I'll be very frank. It's not that, oh, I will do full fasting and I'll be scrolling some stupid YouTube videos all day. That will not give me the benefit. It will not. Maybe a little bit Agyata Sukriti, not Agyata Sukriti, but a little bit something, but that's not the idea. So my Guru Maharaj often said, better that you eat some fruits and water and do some devotional service or sit in the kirtan than, I'm fasting and sleep all day or just watch some movies. So Krishna is a person. Do not emphasize torturing your body without eating anything and just doing some nonsense to cope with that and call it Ekadashi. The idea is better to eat some fruits if your body needs some energy to carry on doing service, but do Krishna conscious activities. Do things that makes you remember Krishna. That's the key. So the qualitative aspect is, the more you remember Krishna, the better on Ekadashi. The quantitative aspect is, of course, fasting will help you. Of course, it's scientifically proven that your body and your mind will benefit. Your doshas will be remaining balanced. But it's very important what you do during the day. My Guru Maharaj always emphasizes that. Jayapatak Maharaj. He says is what you do, what service you do, what katha you're listening. That is more important than whether you're fasting from grains or not. I mean, fasting from grains is important because on that day they say in the grains there is ಗೋವು ಕೊಂದ ಪಾಪ ವಿಪ್ರರ ಸಾವಿನ ಜೀವ ಹತ್ಯವ ಮಾಡಿದ ಪಾಪವು ದೇವನ ದಿನದಿ ನಿದ್ರೆಗೈವನ ಕಾವಲಿಯೊಳು ಹಾಕಿ ಕುದಿಸುವ ಯಮನು. I'm sorry, this song is very heavy. For those of you who are not doing Ekadashi, please don't listen to the translation. It says that the grain on day of Ekadashi is like dog meat. And it says on Ekadashi, it's equal to. And then it says, if you eat grains on Ekadashi, it's like killing a cow. And then another, it says, on the day of Ekadashi, if you just go to sleep, then the agents of Yamaraj will fry you in a hot oil pan. Anyway, this heavy song, but And it says if somebody is engaged in sexual activities on Ekadashi, then the spinal cord will be removed from your subtle body by the Yamadutas. Anyway, scary
Wow.
stuff. This is one song by one Vaishnava saint. This is to show that do Ekadashi. You ignorant souls, don't miss the opportunity like that. Anyway, my request is at least avoid grains and do more Krishna Katha. That's the conclusion.
Well, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother. Like I said, it's coincidental that you had this verse for this month. Well, we have Hamsaduta's hand up. Hamsaduta is Bhakta Hassan. He used to be Bhakta Hassan.
Oh, congratulations.
So this is so yes, congratulations indeed. So Hamsaduta Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Hare Krishna. Mother, please kindly accept my respectful obeisances. All glory to you, Devi, Prabhupada, and all glory to you. And all glory to the wonderful Assamway devotees. It's been wonderful to listen to you again. I have 3 questions in one about the Ekadashi or fasting. For instance, when I used to be a Muslim, during the Ramadan, we have a time which I think 4:45, or I think 15 minutes to 5. And we used to eat very heavy food, heavy one. But after that, that is where the fasting is going to punish you than anything. But if you drink something light, you gain a lot of energy to do the fasting. So my question, why is it like that? Is it something psychological or the body? Because you have enough food in your body, but like you suffer in the fasting, like you haven't ate anything. But if you eat something little, or if you eat a day before, you have a lot of energy to go through the fasting. And my second question is, when you are doing a Kadashi, especially the dry one without water and anything, sometimes you have some kind of struggle, but in the morning, when you are about to break the fasting, you have this kind of energy that you want to continue. Is this something psychological or the body? And the third question is, for instance, if there's a Kadashi, sometimes it's very from different places. And you started eating grains and you notice, oh, today is a Kadashi. Do you have to continue the Kadashi or you have to continue eating grains? This is my question. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Nice to see you initiated and asking very interesting questions as always.
Thank you.
More than psychology, it's actually physiology. So I was studying because for my husband, we were thinking of different fasting things. So I studied a little bit about it. Normally, the body, it stores glucose. It stores it in the liver, in the muscles. It's called glycogen, I think, something like that. Yeah, glycogen. So first 12 to 24 hours of fasting, the body is using that glycogen, and then the glucose is being used. So that kind of glycogen which is stored in the liver gets reduced. Then the body will slowly, after those 12 to 24 hours, it starts to burn the stored fat for energy. That when you said, no, why do I feel energetic after the 24 hours? Because that's when I think it's called lipo something. I don't remember the technical word. Basically, that stored fat, it breaks down and then it becomes all these fatty acids and all this. Then those things start to fuel the brain and the body. So usually after a day, or even during the day of fasting, we feel a little bit energetic. When we eat, we feel tired, sleepy. But when we are fasting, we kind of, the brain and the body is more active. So that's why the fasting promotes the fat loss, especially when you do this, what is it called? Intermittent fasting, because then you help the body to lose the fat. Then after the 24 to 30 hours, like when you're doing, say, liquid fast, then the body enters a specific phase. Then the cleaning, burning of the energy source starts happening. That's when the mental clarity is heightened. And why liquids help in fasting? I also wondered about that. Because hydration, detoxifying the body, certain kind of minerals is necessary. It helps in releasing toxins. So that's like a physiological thing, that when the fat is starting to burn away, then all the toxic things in our body is also burning. So when we drink water, when we say drink herbal tea, then the liver is able to flush out safely without feeling that depletion. So that's my understanding. Preventing dehydration can be a good thing. So that's why once in a year comes Nirjal Ekadashi, Bhima Nirjal Ekadashi. Like for me personally, if I don't drink liquids at all, I get headaches, fatigue, the kidney feels heavy. So it's also depends on your how healthy you are in general, how healthy you eat. So hydration, it helps with blood pressure, and it helps us, like at least for me, I feel that brain is more more hydration helps me in dealing with it. So it's good to drink. This is again physiology, to drink lemon juice or uh, some herbal tea or something. It will keep you from being hungry, but also it will help you with detoxification. But don't drink. Okay, this is big advice through experience. There's a tendency to want to drink sugary drinks. Don't do that, because that is going to, it spikes insulin, and then problems can come due to that, health issues, right? Sahadev Prabhu, you know that. Also, caffeine, stay away from energy drinks, and that's very, very, very unhealthy. It's not really benefit of Ekadashi for physical reasons. So don't drink all these packet drinks. Those things are not very wise.
Thank you. And the last question, like I asked about, if you don't know it's a Kadashi and you started eating grains and
That is
you
working
found
out.
out it's a Kadashi, do you still have to continue doing the Kadashi?
Oh, yeah. The idea of Dwadashi is again like it's an auspicious time to break the fast. I have this app.
Sorry, the Sri Radha. His question is,
Yeah.
today is Ekadashi, and I didn't realize that today is Ekadashi. So I ate grain. And then soon after I ate grain, I realized that it's Ekadashi. Should I continue eating grains, or should I stop eating grains and start Ekadashi fasting?
Yes, stop eating grains and follow the rest of the day.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
And when that happens, at least try to make sure that once in a year when Bhima Nirjala Ekadashi comes, you do full fasting.
Okay.
Because by doing Bhima Nirjala Ekadashi, any other Ekadashi that you mistakenly broke will be compensated.
Oh, okay. During the Kartik month, right?
Bhima Nirjala, I don't know if it comes always in Kartik.
It always, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So, in other words, it's not the end of the world. If mistakes happen, you can always remedy it. And oh, because I ate grain, I will eat the rest of the days. No need, you can stop eating grains.
Because I was
Thank
wondering
you.
what you said about if you mistakenly the thing you sang about if you against in a Kadashi, like Yamaraj, you remove your spine from your body, and so it's very it's very helpful. Anyway, it will help us to stay in Ekadashi. So it's really good for us.
See, Krishna is your father. He's your best friend. He's a person. He sees your mood, your intention. He's not a machine. He's not a calculator that he just sees, oh, you missed it. He sees that, oh, this devotee is trying sincerely. So he will see how much we are doing from our heart, how much we are doing it with love. That's more important for Krishna. What does he gain by your fasting? He's not a sadist that likes to see his devotees suffer and torturing themselves from fasting or something. That's not the idea. He wants us to be healthy. It's like the parent who doesn't give ice cream to the kid every day.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
There is a question in the chat room from Rajshri, and I believe this will be the last question for the day. It's a bit late, Mother's time, Germany. I think it's like 7 hours ahead of me here. All right.
It's
So
50 p.m. for me here.
yeah, so her question is, I have gastritis, high of blood sugar tendency. Even I consume fruits, tuna, boiled vegetables, still I suffer from severe acidity, burning sensation of stomach, acute headache, left side chest pain in gas after I take rice the next day of Ekadashi. Can you suggest me a remedy for the same? Because I want to continue doing Ekadashi as mentally I feel very good the next day of Ekadashi. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yes, Ekadashi can definitely help. Let me just, I'm looking for something I read about this. Let me see if I find it. Let me see if I. So from what I'm seeing here, burning sensation, gastritis, it's a typical sign. I'm asking ChatGPT, what are the Ayurvedic conclusions? So it says elevated pitta. So because of excess heat in the body, this kind of acidity is definitely possible. And then this kind of, you seem to have high blood sugar trend. That also could be like the insulin resistance, headache, chest pain, that's likely from the gas accumulation, which means generally or weak digestion probably, and also improper fast breaking. Don't just put rice like that. If your body is like that, slowly break Ekadashi, break with something soft like what is suji drink, suji kind of soft drinks. Don't take suddenly carbs. Carbohydrate, rice is carbohydrate. So putting your body through sudden carbohydrates after fasting, what they call it as a rebound, that happens. So yeah, so you can actually ask ChatGPT for advice. Tell your what you usually eat and get a proper diet for the week, so you can avoid this acid rebound, gas fermentation, insulin spike. Because see, following of Ekadashi is not a religious thing, only like fanatic religious thing. It's actually very scientific. So when you're breaking fast, drink some, what I do usually, drink some jeera ajwain water, no, that actually helps to prevent that kind of acid reflux. And lauki, in Bengal especially, we find lauki, ash gourd. You make some soup with that, start with that. And then always safest dal, moong dal is very, make it very thin moong dal, drink with that, something like soft things, something sabudana, something soft to break the ekadashi. And also you said something about fruits. It's not just any fruit. You have to be scientific. Fruit with high sugar or acidic fruits, they're not preferable, especially because you seem to have like this pitta problem. So again, as I said, use this ash gourd, make juice from it, drink, because that helps with fighting that. Also, pumpkin is very good for cooling energy if you have pitta. And coconut water you can drink during the Ekadashi. not cold, don't drink it cold, but like warm, because that also can give. So yeah, some things like that. Avoid some acidic fruits, and buttermilk can be very good to cool your body.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mata. Thank you.
Understanding our bodies is important. That's the point. Understanding our body type and doing accordingly.
Yeah. Maybe citrus could be avoided
Yes.
on Dwadashi.
Yes.
Yeah. Probably after you've eaten something, then you may, but it shouldn't be the first thing to take because of the gastritis. Well, thank you so much, Mother. And devotees, we thank you all as always. We're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute yourselves. And we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our deepest appreciation to our revered speaker for today, Her Grace Sri Radha Govinda Devi, for sharing her love and wisdom with us. Even though she is in an inconvenient place, but she still makes time to be with us. So please, you may all
Hare
unmute
Krishna.
time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Panchakapa
Yasha
Tarigya
Sindhya Devacha
Devacha
Janam
Patanam Pavasubhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha.
Agri Radha Govinda Devi ki jai.
Jai.
His confounder Chara Shri Prabhupada ki
Jai.
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 Our glory is to assemble devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Very good, Mother. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Much appreciation.